Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we have finished setting up our outpost over here, and we are pretty much ready to just head right on back. We need to head home, and we've only got 3,000 Delta V to do it. It's going to be interesting. I mean, we shouldn't have an issue if we can get back to the Kerbal system. But we've got a communications network set up for this. I did check it's all connected and functional, and we've double checked all of this is deployed, so we should be completely good to go. I also grabbed a second surface sample and a second materials bay experiment. Those are stored in the crew hatch right now, or rather in the crew module, as opposed to the experiment storage unit, which can't have duplicates, of course. But we are pretty much ready to go. So I think let's just do that. Time to get out of here. We're going to be immediately heading over towards the horizon here. And let's check our current apoapsis. 10 kilometers is enough. So we're just going to hang out right around here. Time to apoapsis is decreasing right now. We'll go back up a little bit. Yeah, now it's increasing. Excellent. And we'll just lead this over towards the horizon. Excellent. And off we go. We could grab a materials study here. I'm not going to. We are only going to grab fresh experiments. Although I will have this be at 1.0 for right now. For a temporary sort of thing. We're very close to our apoapsis right now. It should start pushing back up, though. And indeed it is. So I think we'll aim for about 20 kilometers for this initial burn. And for right now, we'll just point prograde. It's just an apoapsis of 10 kilometers right now. Oh, that's 30. Okay, it started going up very quickly there. That's fine. So we're technically in orbit right now, but we will, at the apoapsis, add a maneuver to escape. What would that do? That just gets us directly out. I'm not sure that that's what we want right now, though. Because I think we would like to do a bit of a slingshot maneuver here. That would escape us just before the apoapsis. Let's try it at the periapsis. If we were to do this, I mean, that would escape us, but I'm not okay with it. I'd like to dip into in-space low over Duna. Just for a bit of science, if we can. And then from there, we'd be able to just push out the apoapsis. What is the Duna in-space low, though? I need to actually check that. Duna low orbit. Duna's low orbit is... I know it's in here somewhere. Let's see, the atmosphere begins at 50K. Gotcha. Okay, so as long as we're over 50K, we're not going to be touching the Atmo. Let's just delay this a little more, maybe. Nope. It's the best we've got. We'd have to burn this way a little bit. Okay, that's too low. We'll target about 60. There we go. And then we'll just accelerate here and push out the apoapsis, and that should be relatively efficient. So we're not going to be doing this for another... And that orbit's tight. We're not going to be doing this for another 40 minutes. That orbit is really tight. Okay, we're not going to grab any additional science from Ike, most likely. I'm going to quick save here in case there's any warping issues. I'm just very concerned about this point right here. It looks like we'll clear. But only just. And maybe that's just a problem with the orbital calculation here. Okay, let's head over towards prograde. And I'm going to quick save again. And I'm going to manually warp forward a little bit. We're going to be down about another 2 more kilometers. Man, this feels tight. Looks like we clear it, but only just. We're still going down, by the way. T-minus 15 seconds is when we want to burn this. So let's go ahead and get oriented for that. Okay, we need to burn this. No, we do not. We have to do that. Because we were going to impact. Okay. So we'll bring this down to about 60k. Same plan, but this time we're not going to impact. Man, that's going to be close. Okay. 3 minutes. Gonna warp. 15.5 seconds is when we are going to be doing this burn. This is really spooky, being this close. Okay. So we're not going to be facing this direction. We are, of course, going to be facing this direction. And we want to begin this burn right about now. And off we go. So in theory, this will give us the exact trajectory that we want. And then the question is, are we going to be flung out further or closer to Kerbal? And that's something we need to investigate. Okay, let's just take a look at this. Looks like we're good. Yeah, this is fine. So, if we were to, at the periapsis here, push out this direction and escape. That would take 80 delta V. This pushes us away from Kerbal. Yep, okay. So we want to just escape then. Which would pretty much be this. Okay. Let's quick save here just in case. And we are going to 5 hours 49. Okay. So we're just going to warp over this way. Goodbye, Ike. A weaker crew report here. Yeah, we'll grab that. We'll collect everything that we can. Can't collect everything, of course. Okay, a little bit further here. The escape is pretty much here, so we'll warp there. Excellent. So this is in space high over Duna, of course. And at this point, we will go ahead and stop time warp, and we will just head towards this node. We're not going to do a full orbit. We're just going to grab whatever science we can. Just checking our surface speed. Looks okay. So we'll warp towards it at about 100x for right now. So far, this is looking okay. We'll bump it up to 1000x until we hit in-space low. Back to 100x, because I wasn't liking how fast that was. This is still in-space high, but we're over lowlands currently. Midlands. We're about 25 minutes away right now from our burn. Midland C. We'll be getting in space low quite soon. There's in space near. Crew report, temperature scan, atmospheric pressure scan, mystery goo observation, gravity scan, material study. Bob EVAs, grabs an EVA report. Okay, we're not going to run any more of these. So we are just going to warp ahead a couple more minutes here. This is a 17-second burn, so we want to burn this at T-minus 8.5 seconds. We will collect all of this that we can. We'll run a gravity scan. Bob will hop out, EVA report. He'll hop back in, and we'll collect it. Okay, so T-minus 8.5 seconds. We'll warp towards that, we'll gravity scan, Bob will EVA report, hop back in. Collect all. And we will warp towards this burn again. Same thing again here. Gravity scan, EVA report, collect everything. And we'll continue our warp. Once more. Easy peasy. Collect all that. Okay, we'll align prograde. How are we doing on our power? We're doing okay. And we'll continue to warp towards 8.5 seconds. Lowlands were fine. Midlands were fine. As Highlands. I mean, at this point, we should probably bump this up to about 15. Okay. So we're going to burn this in just a moment here. T-minus 8.5 seconds, so about 10 more seconds here. And off we go. Just adding a little bit of extra speed at the most efficient point. Technically, this is not the most efficient point. Because the most efficient point would have been if we had determined that we were going towards Kerbal, but this is probably going to be good enough. So the question is, at the Sun apoapsis, or actually the periapsis is 2 years away, this is 1 year away. Where are we going to exit? Looks like we are going to exit right around here. So, if we do a retrograde burn, we can get this down to be something like this. Oh wait, that's Eve. We want Kerbal as our target. What am I doing? Okay. Our timing is terrible. Okay. I mean, we'll get there eventually, but we probably want to encapsulate it a little bit like this. And then we'll do a transfer burn at a different point in time. Okay, for right now, we need to escape the influence of Duna. Or more specifically, we need to get out of In Space Near, because at that point, we will stop getting all this science. And we will get out of here pretty soon. It'll switch over to In Space High pretty quickly, I think. We're at 130,000 meters right now. Yeah, there's In Space High. Okay, so there we go. Fantastic. At this point, we will warp towards this burn to escape, I think, but we should probably head back to the Space Center and check in on a couple of things. Specifically, I want to check in on Mission Control to see if there's anything good here. It's a negative. I want to check in on the tracking station and see if we're good to warp. Okay, so 91 days, 34 days, and 41 days. We're good to warp. Okay. So in that case, we will align up over here. Like so. Excellent. And we'll just warp to here for now. Reason being, I wanted to make sure that we were going to get electric charge, and indeed we did. Fantastic. Apparently we're going to re-encounter Duna in 37 days. That's exciting. Well, we'll go ahead and warp ahead about 20 days as we attempt to escape. And yeah, we're getting observations back from Ike. That's fantastic. Okay, we will be back momentarily. We'll just bump this up to 30 for right now. I mean, we won't be back momentarily. It's going to take a while. But we're transmitting just a ridiculous amount of science back right now. And when we recover this, it's going to be an extreme amount of science. Okay. So now I just want to warp to about here. Excellent. Just a couple more days to warp here until we do this burn. And apparently, this burn will lead us back into a Duna encounter. Which we will then escape over here. Which is probably fine. So this node is in 4 hours right now. We will warp to this next maneuver. So yeah, this encounter is well outside of Ike's orbit. So that's fine. It would definitely be more efficient if we had launched the other direction, but I was impatient. So we want to burn this at T-minus 1 minute 15 and a half seconds. So we will go ahead and warp towards that a little bit. So right about now. It's going to be a pretty lengthy burn here. I'm not exactly sure where Duna currently is. It's probably really small at this point, considering that we've been coasting away from it for a while. Hang on a moment. What does this encounter actually do? What is our current orbit? That's our current orbit. Okay. Just checking. That's fine. I was just hoping that this slingshot would give us something useful, but it does not. It takes us the wrong way. So we'll just have to burn a little extra fuel here. But that's fine. We should have plenty to get back. About another 500 more meters per second. We've still got about 2,000 in the tank. So that's a very good sign. Okay. Still another 300 meters per second to go in this burn. As I said, this would be a kind of long one, but we did definitely transmit a lot of science back already. We should definitely be able to get these guys back. We're only 0.1 degrees off in our inclination. That's not a concern. I am going to just move us up slightly to hit this maneuver node a little bit more right on the head. So yeah, this is our current Duna encounter. It's fine. It's mostly Duna moving past us, rather than us moving past Duna, which is what we expect, since we are currently attempting to slow down our orbit a little. Just adjusting our heading a little bit more. Okay. This is fine. So once we finally make our way to the periapsis here in 292 days, the question is, if we bring this down, what does our encounter look like? If I can see just what I need. Where are we? We are on the opposite side still. Okay, so we'd probably have to add an orbit here, maybe 2. Maybe 3. Or we could potentially burn extra fuel to get there faster. And the question is, how much extra fuel is that going to take? So if we were to burn this down and actually do it sometime differently, like perhaps... that's almost reasonably close. Yeah, that would get us there a lot slower. Yeah, this would be too much DV. But we could get there. Like that. That's way too much DV. So that's definitely not going to be a thing. We've got 1,500 in the tank. I'm just seeing if we can find a faster way to get there. I mean, if not, it's not a huge deal. Yeah, that's definitely also too slow. Or rather, too much DV. By about twice as much as we have. But that's okay. For right now, we could simply, at the periapsis, add a maneuver, that drops our orbit down to be about like that. So we're just slightly slower. And that'll give us some options. So that'll be in 291 days. But for now, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to run some more of our long-term missions. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.